Matt's giving out tickets, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask again one more time, but does everyone have a ticket for some prizes? If you came in here and you do not have a ticket for a prize, please raise your hand, and our lovely Salt Master will hand you a ticket. A very salty ticket.
All right, good.
Salty game.
You guys are too loud. Too shouty.
I'm okay with the sound because most of the times whenever we have panels and stuff like that, the sound doesn't work. So, you know, I wasn't sharing mics and stuff. It's really funny.
One of my photo shoots, basically.
I think, no, the funny thing is, like, usually our mics never all work. We're usually, like, sharing a mic or something like that.
Our luck can we just talk about how amazing our luck has been today? So, all week, everybody on the Momocon Facebook group was posting, rain, rain, rain. Hey guys, did you see the forecast? I heard it's gonna rain. No way! It's not like the last 10 people didn't tell me that. So we were expecting to get totally rained out of our photo shoots. Not a drop of rain fell all day. And we had an amazing photo shoot.
It was.
So the sun god himself prevented the rain. So we thank you so much. So who here was at the photo shoot? Raise your hand. Thank you guys so much for showing up. We really appreciate that.
Praise be.
Where can you find these pictures, CJ?
You can find them through this gentleman right here, through his information, and on our official Facebook page, which will be linking through it via a QR code later in the panel.
If you guys are Android users and don't have a QR code, I suggest downloading one because we have a QR code on our panel that would, you know, be super awesome and stuff because we worked really hard to implement it. Well, I didn't really work really hard to implement it, but you know, we tried.
We worked so hard.
What, you went to Google, put in QR code generator, typed in URL?
It was hard, okay?
You need college to do these things, okay?
I don't know none of that science stuff. I ain't no rocket biologist.
I ain't no schooler. What, they take up the tailpipe?
So we got a few minutes still, so we appreciate your patience. We'll try to keep you entertained until we officially go live. We're working out some of the
last few things.
The fine details of this presentation, but we have it pretty much in concrete. But we want to start when we're supposed to start. So just about we about filled up this room. Yay! Thank you guys so much for coming.
Type of class here, except for Saber.
Who?
Oh, yes,
Andy?
absolutely.
And you need to talk to us, sure.
He always asks the best questions every panel.
Y'all this year. How about something y'all can have if you can answer a question?
Sure.
No, sir. All right. Have the original Type in character material books?
Yeah, it's the original.
Like the 2006 one?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I didn't want there to be like a ton of people here. I thought I was just going to say to y'all. Thanks, guys. But
No, thank you, Andy. I appreciate you.
any of y'all, and I'm going to give you 2 chances to answer. If you can't get it right, you have to give them to someone in the audience.
I mean, I was going to give this on the audience anyways.
Cool. That works out even better. Name 2 of the 4 great demon beasts, or describe them is a better way to do it.
The great demon
Describe
beasts.
2 of the 4 great demon beasts, or demon great beasts. Yeah, you're not allowed to talk. We talked to her.
It's I don't remember.
Primate murder is one, right? I think. Yeah. Can you guys think of any other one? It's not primate murder.
No. It has been forever since I paid attention to that.
It's in this book.
It has been like years since I've read
I'm
this
pretty
stuff.
sure I've got one. I could be wrong.
I will give it away at the panel.
That's perfect. We got another question too, though. Wasn't here your one?
Primate murder?
It is not.
Okay.
Sorry. They are. This lady right here, I believe. Was it you that said it a second ago?
What did I say?
Something about King Solomon?
Yes.
Okay. You want to say it louder?
Yeah. They were created by King Solomon.
Pretty close. Merim Solomon has 4
Okay.
limbs that are all different beasts. Those are the 4 demon beasts. The whale thing, the flying demon, the lady wind-up, the clockwork chick, and then the rat king.
Oh, I was thinking of like the chief of the
Okay, awesome.
They don't actually have names.
Is it one of them?
No, none of them have names. And then the last one is Ilya, Prism Ilya, the idea of like the lowly archer that's Ilya.
Wait, Tiamat's not a beast, right?
No.
Tiamat's not a beast?
The 4 great demon beasts are 4 specific things. But Prism Ilya, the idea of Ilya Archer, was around in the Dojin series way before Prism
Ilya.
came out.
But that's because Ilya was a doujin before it was even a thing.
Oh, even better. What? Name the Dojin series. It's the most popular fake Dojin. It's been around since 2005.
I don't know.
Man, it was sword
really-
dancers.
Is it sword dance?
It's sword dancers. Anyway, you guys get to give this away.
It's okay.
I'll do it.
Nice.
We have prizes, by the way. We have more prizes now.
Everybody give a round of applause for our subject matter expert over here.
Beautiful.
Good job, good job.
That is actually really cool.
It's the original one.
That is really cool.
It's like crazy to see how far we've gone.
How far we've come.
Some of this art is
You mean how far we've gone away from all this?
So I'm gonna speak on behalf of one of our fellow panelists who is not here tonight. Those of you who have been before know who Trip is, and we had a great conversation with him a few weekends ago when prepping for this panel. We were having dinner with him, and he said that he feels like Type Moon has become very commercialized, and that the new properties are more there to sell products and to tell stories. And so he's drifting away from the initial premise it was founded on. And it's hard to disagree with that. But that being said, I think we all have our own thoughts on the new works, and we all like them for various different reasons or dislike them for various different reasons. It's important to be critical of things you like, and we are very critical of things we like, but we're not going to be condescending and say that, oh, well, it was better back in my day when we liked Type Moon, but
we're not total neck beaters.
yeah. So
Hey, CJ, is the fake property has completely become the golf course. It sells same course, right?
yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We'll kind of extrapolate on that later. So
It's getting there. Got about 5 minutes.
I think we about filled up, so we might as well go ahead and go. It'll save us some time on the backside.
All right, if anyone walks in there, just make sure you hand them a ticket. But I think since most of us we're pretty full and I think we're just gonna get started because I think we're pretty ready. Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right.
Woo!
All right. Priest, close the door.
No, you can leave it open till. We can leave it open till. Leave it open.
Yeah, leave it open.
Yeah, leave it open.
Okay.
Leave
fine.
it open until 10.
Yeah, more people are gonna show up on time. Anyways.
Fair.
You're just. You're moderator.
Sure.
All right, go.
How's everyone doing? Fantastic, fantastic. Well, so, welcome to the Type Moon Universe fan panel happening yet again at Momocon 2018. And, yeah, please. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, boy. Your boy.
Don't worry, your state courts doesn't actually fund us. We don't get any money from them.
Indeed.
It's worth mentioning that this is our 5th consecutive Type Moon panel at MomoCon in a row.
Very correct.
So I know I asked this already, but since it's been a while, who here has never been to one of our panels before? Like never ever. Wow, that's a good bit.
That's a lot of people.
Welcome.
All right. Since we have a lot of you new guys and gals, we might as well ask the initial question that we ask at the beginning of every single panel. Raise your hand if you got started with the Type Moon universe with Tsukihime. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool.
You guys are never getting a sequel.
Hey.
Well, actually, no, I lied.
Hey.
You guys did get a sequel, but you didn't read it.
Hey. That wound's still open. I don't need that prodded anymore.
I feel that wound. I think
Hopefully.
it's been 10 years since that announcement. 10 years.
Tsukihime remake never. Anyway, so, alright, so we got a few people with Tsukihime, that's cool. Who here got started with the Fate Stay Night visual novel? Okay.
That's a pretty respectable
A
amount.
few more than I thought. All right, that's nice. Okay. Who got started with a Fate Stay Night anime?
Dean.
Dean anime, yes. All right. All right. Okay.
Dean is a great animator, by the way.
They're not.
Hey, I like Rakugo. Rakugo is a fantastic anime series.
Well, yeah.
We got some heathens who just came in the back of the room there.
A few, yes.
Welcome, welcome.
All right. How about this one's for me? Melty Blood. Who got started with Melty Blood?
Literally one person.
Wait, do I see? One,
What?
two, three. Yes! Yes! I'm so happy. Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay, so how about Phase Zero? All right, respectable. Very good, very good. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we might as well ask. How about Kara no Kyokai? One guy. Yes. Up two guys. Yes. I love it. All right. How about truly esoteric, Cardinal Phantasm?
That was your very first word. How was that mess?
Hey,
It is great.
No.
But if it's like your first work,
who does? Okay, all of us love Cardinal Phantasm, but it's a really weird diving board. Okay, it's a very weird diving board. All right. Next up, since we're going down obscurest road, Prismalia. And everybody else preferred Monica Magica.
Were you reincarnated? Is that what happened?
I will say that Prismalia movie is fantastic.
Yes! It's Shiro the movie.
Hey, we also got another Shiro the movie coming out too. Anyways,
All right.
let's talk about that.
Unlimited Blade Works anime. All right. Cool. The series.
Okay, yeah. It makes
All right. I might as well ask the movie.
Acceptable response.
Because everyone loves sexual dragons.
I actually,
Hey, they made an anime about it. I'm sorry. Clearly it sells. All right. Yeah. Grand Order.
That's actually
Grand Order is your start, is what I'm asking. All right. Cool.
all right, it's official.
All right. Sweet.
What about unlimited codes?
Oh yeah.
Hey, if somebody wants to have their ass handed to them by an Archer Unlimited Codes, come see me after the panel.
What about extra? Oh, I see one. Oh wait, no, did I see a second one? Back there? All right, cool.
extra.
All right, there. All right, I see. All right, cool.
Joey, extra including Excel.
But Excel is bad.
Excuse you.
Oh, it will come up later. Don't worry. All right, so it's about 10 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get cracking. So, we went ahead and we always like asking that question, seeing what everyone started with the Type Moon universe, because it is rather expansive and it doesn't always involve fate, which especially a lot of the newcomers to the series don't always remember. So, the four of us have been doing this for about 5-6 years now, and we are just four guys who really enjoy the Type Moon universe. So, because of that, we started this panel, and we haven't stopped. So here we are. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go through introductions very quickly, and I will start with the techie.
Hey there, I'm James. I am responsible for this amazing PowerPoint. Hey, thank you all so much for showing up.
It is actually legitimately very good.
If you guys haven't noticed yet, the Tight Moon is covered up by something.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. It gets worse. It gets worse.
It's been a very fateful year.
All right, so that is James over there. I'm going to pass it on to the other James, who's sitting right next to me. And before I have him start talking, I would like everyone to know that he was the one who originally submitted this panel 5 years ago. So if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be here. So everyone. So please, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is James. I've been on the panel since the start. To describe my Fate fandoms, I play Fate Granddaughter. I spend quite a bit of my money on Fate Granddaughter. I spent money on Fate goods before Fate Granddaughter was a thing, like figures and t-shirts and stuff like that. I love all the other original Tight Moon series like Karno Kyokai. I'm just a really big fan of the series, and I'm glad that you guys are all here to, share and experience it with all of us. So, welcome again, and, welcome to new people who come back and welcome to new faces.
Fantastic. All right, so I will go ahead and move on to our resident archer over here. Please introduce yourself.
All right, so my name is Clinton Bradley. This is, again, the 5th consecutive Momocon panel we've done. The original 2014 Tight Moon Universe fan panel, I joined in and as an audience member, and they threw some jokes back and forth at me, but they knew me because I had already done a Fate panel at the con, Comic-Con. Who's been to Comic-Con in Birmingham? Okay, so Comic-Con 2013, I did a Tight Moon Fate panel there, and they had seen it, they saw what I had did, and so we just decided to collaborate, and it's stuck ever since. I also am sort of the self-appointed manager, or one of the self-appointed managers of the Southeast Tight Moon cosplay community. So I mentioned before the photo shoot, so raise your hands again if you were at the photo shoot this afternoon. So again, thank you guys so much for coming. I've said this before and I will say this again. Tight Moon has been the most nicest, most mature, most welcoming cosplay group I've ever been a part of. And that all of that credit goes to you guys. So in the interest of making a healthy community, you guys all contribute to that. We want to have all of you play a part in that.
Fantastic. And I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Joey, and I was also on the first rendition of this panel about 5 years ago because I was one of the weird people and got my start with Melty Blood. I played Melty Blood during Acadenza, and I got decent at the game, even though it was the Japanese port of it, and I couldn't read Japanese, so I had no idea what they were saying. So I had to deal with the frickin' GameFAQs translation guide, which was a hellhole, and I hated it. And then I found out that it was attached to Tsukihime, which then was attached to the Tight Moon universe, and down the rabbit hole I went. And here I am, and yeah, I like Melty Blood a lot. So, we're gonna go ahead and get cracking with this panel. So, welcome to 2018. As you can tell, there has been a lot of Fate properties over the past few years, and particularly 2017 to 2018, there have been a lot of various things that have come out, that have finished, and we are going to start by going over those. So we are going to start off with the big one, Apocrypha. So, Apocrypha finished end of 2017, am I right? My brain. Okay, so
December.
It's on Netflix just a little while ago.
Either way, so it finished at the end of 2017, and between the four of us, we have mixed opinions overall. And I'm going to go ahead and have Clinton start with that.
Okay, so one of the things that we love about this panel so much is we are four very different people with very different preferences and opinions. So this is not going to be factual. This is going to be all opinion based. So just keep that in mind. We're kind of a debate format almost in that regard. So I will say this: I like Apocrypha. I will probably buy the Blu-rays, but it's just ugly. It is so ugly.
Thanks, A1.
Without giving any spoilers, without giving any spoilers for
I think
season
spoilers
2.
are fair at this point. Everyone's seen Apocrypha, right?
Let's be fair.
Yeah,
Let's be
I hear
fair.
some
Let's
no
be
in
fair.
there. So
Raise
here's
your
the-
hand if you have not seen Apocrypha.
Yeah, okay.
Decent amount of y'all. Okay, let's keep spoilers to a minimum.
I'll keep it vague. There's a fight scene, and supposedly the animation was going to be improved going into season 2. I completely disagree. There's a fight scene towards the end of season 2 where I was really hyped because of the two characters that were fighting, and after the end of the scene, I stopped the episode and said, wow, that was the worst animated fight scene I've seen in a modern anime.
Yeah.
And
Worse than Studio King's toothpick fight?
yes.
Oh, by the way,
It is aged worse than that.
CJ, before you continue. So if you guys have any questions during the panel and stuff like that, what we like to do is save your questions about a specific topic until the end. So when you came into the panel, you got a ticket. So the way that ticket works is during the Q&A panel, if you go up and ask a question, we'll write your name down on that ticket, and you will be entered for a chance to win any of these lovely prizes, from these books to these clear files to the CD to this Nendroid. So save your questions till then, and we'll just get through all the content, and then we'll be a chance for like fun prizes and stuff.
Yeah, so we'll go into detail as to what those prizes are and how you can win them later. But yeah, just hold on to your questions until that portion of the panel. So to summarize my opinion of Apocrypha, I like it. I like it enough that I cosplay Shiro Makasa, if you saw me yesterday wearing that.
Yep.
And there is some great characters, but it's just ugly.
James, you want to add to that?
So, while I do think the animation is hideous, I thought it was actually way improved in season 2, and I definitely appreciated that. On the whole, I can't say that I liked Apocrypha. I think that it was the wrong source material to go with for doing a new Fate series, but it wasn't a terrible show, so I can't knock it too hard.
Yeah, I mostly concur with what James just said. I didn't do it. I've been saying since the beginning that Apocrypha was probably one of the most difficult source materials in Fate to really make an anime from. Because you have to have, even if you just dedicate your entire time to just one team, it's just, okay, so we're going to have this anime be about Team Red. That means you have all these characters that have to have their storyline reinforced. You still have to talk about Ruler. You still have to talk about the other team because you're going to fight them. There's just a whole bunch of content that you got to pack in to 2 seasons of anime. And that's kind of difficult to do without it just being a weird jumbled mess. And that's what it was for the most part, up until the last 2 episodes of season 1, in which they went, okay, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna slam down the gas and just see if we can finish this. And they did.
I want to add a little bit more to that.
Yes.
So again, the biggest dilemma with Apocrypha is you have a series that has the tone and the pace and the scene structure of Zero, but twice as many characters. There's no way you're going to be able to give all of them adequate development.
Yeah, there's no way. Absolutely no way. There's too many characters.
James, final thought?
All right, so I'm not that mean towards Apocrypha, so so the thing that really draws me to Apocrypha is Apocrypha has such a huge cast of servants, and we have some really strong ones. Like the Red faction is really overpowered. We have Mordred, we have Achilles, we have Karna. Yeah, so like some of the power levels that I get from the servants are really cool from that scene. Some animation scenes that we mentioned before have been a bit sketchy, but A1 has been known to have like a bit of like dodgy production sometimes, especially since they split their production up. But overall, I think Apocrypha is really worth going into if you like the characters. Like Mordred is a fantastic character, Achilles is fantastic, and I guess you could say Siegfried. Indeed. But I think that wraps it about.
Yeah, that covers it about, except for Team Black will always win because they have the murder child. Anyway. So, moving on. So after that is Fate's Encore, or Fate Last Encore, from the extra continuity. A whole lot of stuff that's crazy about this one. It takes a very crazy source material, which is Fate Extra, and then they give it to possibly the most, here comes the pun, Extra Anime Studio, Shaft. Yes, thank you. I will take that all day. Thank you. So anyway, so they give it to Shaft and just go, have fun. Just have fun. And that's about what this anime is. And I'm gonna have James start off with this one.
All right, so who here has seen Extra Last Encore? Not a lot of people? Okay. So, Extra Last Encore isn't done right now. We're on episode 10 so far in Japan, and it's going to be continued later on. So, so far from what I've seen, not to spoil it too much, it's different from the game. So if you played Fate Extra, it's very different from that setup. I kind of don't want to spoil it too much, but when it does come out later, it will be available on Netflix, and there's only 10 episodes out at the moment in Japan, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But it's different. I never played the original Extra anime, but I like the characters. I like Tamamo, I like Nero, which I'm kind of sad because, spoiler, Tamamo doesn't show up in this one. Because as you can see.
CJ?
Yeah, so I'm sort of the self-appointed subject matter expert on the Extraverse on this panel. So I have a lot of things to say about Extra Last Encore, but I'll keep it brief. So Extra Last Encore has the exact opposite problem that Apocrypha did, where Apocrypha is trying to do a straight adaptation of its source material, and it's stumbling over a lot of the roadblocks that come with adapting a story like that that's so big. Whereas Extra Last Encore, they took its time in production, they didn't rush it out the door like they did with Apocrypha, and again, much better animation studio. But the dichotomy is inverted because now you have a series that, instead of being a straight adaptation, it is changing everything about its original source material and going with a completely different interpretation of the story. And I think it's really interesting, and you will not be disappointed with the Shaft visuals. I will say one thing about the visuals that's not a spoiler. Nursery Rhyme is in this series.
Oh, yeah.
So get ready for the most Shaft thing you've ever seen outside of Madoka. It's incredible.
It is about as close as an anime can get to an acid trip. It is brutal.
Accurate.
All right. So yeah, and there was some yeah. So I'm gonna really quickly say my opinion of it. My real problem that I had with it is not the way it looked. It looks gorgeous. Not the characters for the most part. The characters are interesting. I really do not like the pacing of it. Oh, yeah. They did a very bad job of pacing it to the point that it got to the first 4 episodes. I watched the first 4 episodes straight through, and it didn't touch it until about a week ago. Because I was just going, they completely wrecked the pacing because they were too concerned about going, okay, so we have to make sure that everyone knows this city is the city of losers. And we got to make sure the losers are there, and the mayor is going to be the king loser. And anyone who wants to get out of the city of losers has to fight the king loser.
Guess who the king loser is?
Yeah, take 2 guesses.
Anyways, no.
Yes. Anyway, so that's my personal gripe with it. And overall, I want it to continue. I want it to be nice, but I gotta admit, me personally, it's just kind of to me. Anyway, so moving on to what is, in my opinion, the best thing of this year. We finally, after many years of waiting, have our Heaven's Feel animated adaptation. And they gave it to us in a movie, which was, in my opinion, fantastic.
Fantastic.
So who here saw Heaven's Feel Part 1 in theaters? Oh, yes. So I went to, if you live here in Georgia, I was at 3 out of 4 of those screenings. I loved it. Who here is going to see the English version in 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got my ticket.
Right on.
So, really, if you've read the visual novel, there isn't too much difference, but I kind of want to spend a few minutes splurging on this because it legit blew me away. I was not expecting it to be nearly as good as it was. So, do one of the Jameses want to talk about it?
I'll start off first.
All right.
Sorry. So the first thing I will say, okay. So since I think Heaven's Feel is gonna be who's gonna be upset about Heaven's Feel spoilers just for part 1? For spoilers? Just don't do it. Okay. I will say that I do enjoy the beginning of the movie. The first end of the movie is one of my favorite things about the Heaven's Feel movie. For those who've seen it, I really appreciate the fact that they spent the time and the effort to, explain things the way they did about who soccer is, what a Holy Grail War is, if you don't know by now.
What really blew me away about this movie was one of the things that really blew me away about this movie was how good it looked. This was one of the sexiest movies I have seen in a long time.
Ufotable, thank you.
Yes. Ufotable. Wow. They did incredible work on this.
And one of the things that I rather enjoyed is they were willing to take liberties and poke fun at the source material. Because even though it is significantly darker than the other two storylines, they were willing to just throw in those little jokes, particularly the first time Shinji lost. Oh my God. I was crying laughing. It was just so well done. They did the emoting perfectly, and of course, who could forget when Kotomine went pure food wars and just had to undo that jacket. And, oh man, it was so good.
Some of you people waited for that scene. I've been online. Some of you guys waited for that scene. You're like, oh man, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna see it. And like, as soon as he walked into that place, you all started laughing. I know some of you did.
CJ, final thought?
So I've talked about my thoughts on it a little bit at other panels that I've done, but I wanted to touch on a few key points that I haven't really brought up yet. So I absolutely adore the movie. It's a fantastic adaptation. They do a really good job of, if you went in not liking Sakura because you only read like the Fate route or you watched the Lemon Way Works the series, this movie does such a damn good job at making Sakura the most endearing character they could. It's fantastic. If I can be a little bit nitpicky, I feel like we joke about the "Be Gone" thought scene with Saber and Ryder, but the thing about that is that is a reoccurring theme throughout the entire movie. All of the fight scenes, except for one, which I won't spoil, are anticlimactic. They just end. And I have the Blu-ray now. I have the soundtrack. My favorite part of the soundtrack is 25 seconds long. So it just feels like we kind of got shortchanged there. So
yeah, that. And from someone who was waiting for that a very long time, and because I was waiting for it for a very long time, was not expecting it to be good, I got to admit, it surprised me. It was very, very good. So, speaking of surprising but very, very good, we have the underdog of the season. Whoever in their right mind thought that an anime about cooking in the Fate universe, or even a manga about cooking in the Fate universe, would have been halfway decent, turns out we were wrong. Very wrong.
Good wife, damn it!
So Emiya Gohan came out a few months ago. January.
We get one episode every single month.
Correct. We have been getting one episode every single month, and I never thought I would have enjoyed seeing people in this universe happy. But goddamn, are they just pleasant when they're happy?
I mean, Joey has a fair point. Much of the Fate Stay Night cast do not have happy endings, and Emiya Gohan is a blessing because many of those characters are like happier eyes. It's really great.
Look at this poster. Look at how happy Saber is.
The thing that makes this series so effective.
Yeah. You want to give her your money, James? You want to give her your money?
Oh my god.
Later. We're going to get to that in a moment. Don't worry about it.
So,
Shiro's cooking now.
all right. So the thing that makes this series so effective is exactly that, where you look at these characters that have suffered so much, and you see them happy, and you're just crying like they deserve this so much. That's why the series is good. That and Ufotable. They do environments really well.
And the thing that blew me away, especially since it's Ufotable, you can definitely tell this is like the insanely low budget Ufotable. Like this is the Ufotable that went, okay, we had one too many beers, and they won't give us more than $20 to make an episode of this. Let's do what we can, and we'll see what happens. And it turned out to be, I'll be honest, much better than it has any right to be. So, I'm sorry?
How long are the episodes again?
They're 15 minutes?
Yeah,
they're really short.
They're bite-sized.
But you get one every single month until the end of the year. So there's only 12 episodes, but we get one every single day the first day of the first month.
So, moving on. It is truly surprising. Hold on. It is truly surprising that I have to sit up here and say that the biggest thing that has happened since the last time we've talked to y'all at last Momocon has nothing to do with an anime. It actually has everything to do with a mobile game. And that mobile game is Fate Grand Order. So, we have Fate Grand Order here, and what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All gotcha games are the same to me. I apologize. All right, so, hold on. Sorry. All right, so, moving on, Fate Grand Order. CJ.
I swear I had nothing to do with this.
CJ, I told you to talk about Fire Emblem stuff after this.
Don't look at me.
Okay, we're professional here. Yes. So, all right, so moving on. Fate Grand Order.
You're killing me, James.
No. We already have Ilya. We don't need more idle crap. Okay. So, anyway. Okay. We're back in business. We are back in business after I've almost had a heart attack. So, even though all this stuff has happened, we really can't sit here with a straight face and say that the biggest thing that has happened over the past year since Momocon has not been Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order, it seems, is literally a money printing machine. And I am going to allow the resident gotcha expert to talk about it. Go ahead, James.
All right, so who here plays Fate Grand Order? Wow. English? Is everyone here English? Anyone JP? Yeah, I love you guys. I play JP. Anyways, so Fate Grand Order is like the biggest thing that's been relevant in a lot of the, fandom and stuff like that. It recently, in this past Comic Get, beat out a lot of the other doujin circles as the number one. Fate Grand Order is the most popular doujin in the most recent Comic Get. But let's talk about some things that we've liked about Fate Grand Order. So, who here is playing the Rashomon event? The Rashomon event. Are you guys playing the... I will openly admit, I am playing the 1 million life because my Fate Grand Order English account is bad. Alright. Anyways, so what I want to do, I'm not going to cover everything about Fate Grand Order, but I'm going to cover the most recent things. So the most recent story arc was America, which was fantastic. It had Nightingale. Did anyone love Nightingale now? Yeah, I really liked Nightingale and my boy Rama. That was a great scene. Oh man. And Who Older was fantastic. Why won't he come home? I keep spending money, but he still won't come home. Anyways, whatever, that doesn't work. We also, besides America, we also had events such as Car no Kyokai event. That was pretty exciting.
I just hate that it took that event for us to get a legal stream service of.
We've had Amazon.
On Crunchyroll.
But it was on Amazon Prime for years.
But it was also behind, what was it, Anime Strike
No.
something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about actual streaming services, James.
Oh
Come
my
on.
god. Anyways, there was that, and then there was the Zero XL Order event, which is, based off, Best Boy Waiver. Anyway.
Damn right, Best Boy Waiver.
Yeah, that's like a lot of the recent events that come out. And who here is having fun playing Figure in Order? Yeah? It's okay. I've been in the sidelines. I've been there. Anyways,
It's an abusive relationship.
we can all talk about Figure in Order, but we're gonna move on because we need to get moving.
We are going to move on with Fate Excel Link. So, Fate Excel Link, I will admit, because I have not finished Excel yet, I do not care for it all that much, so I will dismiss myself from talking on this. I will, however, turn to our resident extra experts, please.
So, those of you that know me even a little bit know that I adore the first Extella. You can't get me to shut up about that game. So, instead of stealing like 20 minutes of your time talking about how much I love Extella and theorizing about Extella Link, I'm just going to give you the basic summary and talk about the new characters that have been confirmed for the game since the last update we got. So, they're really going for a system of like a rivalry thing going on with these characters. So they put in characters that will intentionally have a conflict with another established character that's already been in Extella. So for instance, we had Jean in the last game, right? So now we have... Yeah. We had Karna in the last game, now we're getting Arjuna. We had Iskander in the last game, so now we're getting Darius. We have a brand new servant that it's something we talked about years ago actually on a panel. We wanted it, and we're finally getting it, and that is King Charlemagne, who is the pretty boy you see right there. So there's two different Charlemagnes, the Virgin Charlemagne and the Chad Charlemagne. I mean, the Saber and the Ruler one. So the Saber one is the one you see right here, and the Ruler one is much older. He's bulkier. He's got like golden hair. Looks pretty cool. And to counteract Charlemagne, we're getting Astolfo.
Oh, you mean the best girl of 2017?
According to Crunchyroll.
You're missing one.
So we're getting some. They wanted to make sure they gave us a character from each other Type Moon work. So they gave us Gilles de Rais and Lancelot from Zero. They gave us Astolfo and. No, they already had Karna. No, I'm thinking of Apocrypha. Just Astolfo from Apocrypha. From Grand Order, we're getting Arjuna and Skahawk. So that's going to be nice. And we're getting, from Freight Extra, we're getting Francis Drake and Robin Hood. All playable. So, Extella Link is going to have improved visuals upon the first game and a much, much bigger roster of characters, because not a single playable character from the previous game was dropped in the production of this game.
Why don't they give us more assassins?
Let's just hope the cast is fully used this game.
So for the most part, that covers everything. That covers everything that it has dropped or is about to drop in the North American market.
Oh yeah, side note. So Extella Link comes out in Japan on June 7th, and I will be doing a live stream of it as soon as my copy arrives.
Oh boy. So we're moving on with a few things that are coming out, either coming out very slowly. One of them being my personal favorite in the current Type Moon universe, Figure Fate Strange Fake. I love Strange Fake. So, those of you who do not know what Strange Fake is, I'm going to splurge on this very, very quickly. It is a former April Fool's joke written by the writer of Bakeno, who was told to write a Grail War where everything goes wrong. Literally everything goes wrong. So obviously the Americans did it. And So, yes, the American Association of Mages decided they were pissed that none of their mages could make it into the Fuyuki Grail War, so they decided to make their own by copying one of the old grails. However, they did such a horrible job copying it that the servants are just kind of, what's the kind word? Total garbage. And I would say another word, but oh well, I will keep myself mostly PG for the moment. And so many things go wrong. Gilgamesh is summoned to this for the sole reason that his main boy shows up in the war, and the entire time he is complaining about it. He is going, "Why am I here?" The master that summoned him gets his hand cut off, and then he's killed by him. It's just, ugh. I love it. I love it so much. I would go into more detail, but it is very spoiler heavy, and it's very, very detail dense. So when you start reading everything, it does go through very quickly.
I will say the thing that he mentioned literally happens in the first act.
Yes. So anyway, that's that. Moving on to another thing that I love, Regisville Malloy. So, after years and years and years of having the translators for the visual novel drag their heels translating this thing, it has been announced that it is getting a manga release. And it is coming out rather steadily in Japan. The first 2 chapters are translated right now. And those 2 chapters are actually pretty good. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed reading them. They just really reinforce the fact that Waver is in fact the best boy in this entire world, because he doesn't view anyone as inferior. He doesn't view anyone as an inferior mage. He just views everyone as incompetent. And I can respect that. You're not bad. You're just not trying. So he just keeps going on with all that. And it's only as I said, it's the only first 2 chapters that are translated right now. They are very good. I would highly recommend keeping an eye on it, because at least it's going to get translated faster than the visual novel will. So,
I also want to add that it's probably the most least fate amount thing that's writing in a Type Moon work.
That is correct. So if you are wanting the itch of Tsukihime scratched, that is a fantastic way to do it. So, moving on, we have the future. To be released, Girls Works. No lie, the first year we did this panel, we found out they were working on this, and literally nothing else has come up. I think they did a source, didn't they?
They confirmed that it is still in production about 6 months ago.
Okay.
We will not stop talking about it until it's released.
It will never die in our hearts, and we will continue pushing. And of course, we talked about part 1. We will talk, and part 2 of Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel is coming out at the end of this year. That is going to be that is probably going to be fantastic, because the first one was pretty good, and we are going to go ahead and open it up to questions. So, before we do that, very quickly, we are going to have a very quick, harsh criticism of each other.
Oh God.
Because we are going to ask each other questions very fast. So, the way this is going to work is I have a piece of paper in my hand. These are questions written by us. We are going to ask each other these questions. While I do this, if you have a question, I would highly recommend you start queuing up in front of the mic, and you can ask us any question that you want. It could be an opinion. It could be you saying certain things. I don't care. So, don't kill each other, please. And this is connected to the prizes. We will explain how that works in a moment. However, I'm going to go ahead and start busting over with these questions. I will start with the first one. Okay. If you could recast the servant lineup of Apocrypha,
Oh, God.
Who would you have on your red and black teams? Yes.
I have no real qualms with the team setup. I think I would probably, I mean, hey, we had that early build with like David and St. George and all those other servants, so maybe I'd go back to that. Or give somebody, maybe remove Karna from red team, because as much as we love him, he is a fluffy godbird that can one-shot the entire black team on his own, so maybe balance the scales by taking him out and replacing him with somebody less broken.
Fair. James?
All right, there's one thing that they could have done to make this anime so much better, and it is so obvious. You just replace Jean with Gil, and you are golden.
That's Kentucky? Don't use golden unless it's Kentucky?
I'm sorry, I'm a mongrel.
It seems we're having protestations from the Gil over there. Anyway. Alright, so we got a few of those. Since we are a little short on time and we want to make sure all y'all get your questions, we're going to pop through these real fast. Best OST, go.
Best
OST.
0.
Studio Teen anime.
0.
Tsukihime. Maybe. No, mine's probably Melty Blood.
Yeah.
So, since it's Memorial Day weekend, who would you want the next American servant to be? John Cena! We just can't keep the memes out of here, can we? Anyway, next.
I still want Patton.
Patton? Okay, that's good.
I want Commodore Perry. Commodore Perry is the guy who busted open Japan to the modern day world by being like, hey, we have guns on our ship. You don't have guns.
Gunboats. Guns and boats.
And me, those of you who've been to this panel before know that there is only one, and that is number 1, George Washington. All right, next. Okay, this ought to be an interesting one. Who was the most talented magus to fight in the Holy Grail War as a master?
If we're going out for a matter of opinion, I may have to go with Bazette.
Bazette?
Yeah.
Fair.
I think my personal favorite was the original El Malloy. I really liked it with like Kaneth a lot. He was really strong. It's just like Kaneth got the short end of the stick because someone stole his original servant, and also because the servant he summoned was kind of after his girl. But I thought Kaneth was really good. He's the original El Malloy, so I'll go with that.
As for the master who made the most improvements over the Holy Grail War, probably Shiro. I don't know. He ends up being like close to godhood.
I will say
it starts from nothing.
I think he's a good main character, but
Quite. And finally, I just want to let this be known, I did not write this question. If you could have a Fate/Melty Blood fighting game crossover, what would it be with?
Joey, you got to give us an answer on that one.
Oh, you want to know what I do?
Yeah, I want to know what you do.
I would, if we're going fighting game series, I would actually go with Tekken. Just because Tekken is done in a more realistic fighting style, and I want to see what the absurdity of magic would do if we threw it into this universe. I think that would be interesting. Alright, cool. So, that's that. Now, real quick, we are going to move on to the fan questions. Yay. So, we are going to get through as many of you as we can. We have about 20 minutes. So, what we are going to do is, if you have a question and you have one of the tickets with you and you want to win some fabulous prizes, we have Kotamine right there. You will write your name on your ticket, you will put it in the Grail of Salt. And after everything is done, we will pull those names and you will be getting some fabulous prizes. Sound good? Cool. Alright, so let's get cracking.
Alright, the mic doesn't work, so we're gonna have to be loud.
Wait, it doesn't work?
No. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's sensitive at all. Okay, so this is a two-parter. One, James, how much have you spent on Fate Grand Order?
4,000. Actually, it might be closer to 5 now. Hey.
This one's gonna well.
All right.
This one's the actual. That was a curiosity. This one's the actual question. Throughout the entire Titan universe, who is worst?
Worst girl?
Yes.
Who is worst girl? The whole Tight Moon. Oh, I know the answer. Well, for me at least, I know the answer.
Just say it.
Akia.
Woo! It's fair.
Akia Tono. I don't like her. Her storyline is interesting, but her herself is kind of an incestuous little sister that just wants to bang her, oh look, I can kill everything I look at, brother. So
My answer is the clown master from Extra, like hands down. Like there's no redeeming qualities to this character whatsoever.
I like all the waifus. Don't ask me these mean things.
It says that you spent 5K on.
Hey, I like my pixels, okay?
James, how many rank 5 SSRs do you have?
later, we will do this when we have more time. Please.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is the second question y'all are getting, but what do you think of the fact that everybody calls Lancelot a slut when Gawain is right there? He's
Well,
I 100% agree.
why don't you just tell us how you really feel? Okay.
I will say that the entirety of the new Sherlock event that happened in the JP event, No Spoilers, was hilarious because Lancelot was there. But I'll leave it at that. Lancer is pretty sleazy, but he's pretty great too.
All right.
Please.
Can I ask something Heavensphere related?
Yeah, go.
Absolutely.
Alright, why did Gabo not disappear?
Huh? Why did it not pierce him?
Why did it disappear after Lancer was defeated?
Yeah, it did disappear, but after things happened to Lancer, like his spiritual body was still there at the time when it went into the lake. So just maybe that's a continuity error, but I didn't think to question that because we've seen that happen with certain weapons before, where they've been defeated for a while and their weapons are like a few minutes later.
Now that we're talking about that scene, I will say that scene was fantastic because in the original visual novel, that scene was not that long.
Yeah.
In the visual novel, the scene literally is like, oh, we're gonna fight, all right. Next thing you know, Lancer's like already had his heart ripped out and everything. So all the stuff that happens in the new Heaven's Steel movie involving Hukuhan is fantastic. Especially since like running Lancers are mean.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
I got a pencil.
Anyways, let's keep moving. Matt, can you pull yourself to the side so we can keep moving the questions?
regarding Fate Grand Order, second part, Cosmos and Velasco, is there any specific servants you're like looking forward to seeing, or any of the one arts?
Are we talking about Cosmos of Lost Belt, like for JP?
Yeah.
I am looking forward to that Archer. I want to know who he is. I really want to know who that Archer is. But yes, I don't know if Joe or anyone else has like comments for Cosmos and Lost Belt. But yes.
I don't.
I am also wondering if that caster is actually going to be Shisho or not. That's the other thing. I don't think it is, but yeah. I hope it's the sister.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
All right. Next question, please.
Next.
So I'm here with my friend, and she introduced me to Fate. So I don't know where to start. Can you guys give any recommendations?
Okay, this is a fun question.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the big thing is all of us have different opinions on this. So real quick, let's just go ahead and have just one work that we can get more questions. So go ahead.
Visual novel or teen anime, either.
If you're willing to commit a lot of time, I would say the visual novel. If you want to just like get through everything really fast, Zero is a good way to start. But either of those two for me.
Yeah, either the VN if you don't mind reading, or Fate Zero because it is so good.
And I say Fate Zero just because it's kind of hard to go wrong with it. The storyline's fantastic. Animation makes it really easy to watch. So yeah, I would say Fate Zero personally.
Alright, here's a kind of personal.
Can everyone quiet down just a little bit so we can hear, please?
This one's kind of personal, but out of all the characters that pretty much kind of died, which one really hurt you the most emotionally?
So which character death hurt us the most emotionally?
Can I go first?
Sure, go ahead.
Ilya.
What'd you say?
I said Ilya.
Oh, Ilya, yeah.
This is spoiler related, of course. This is spoiler related, of course, if you haven't finished all of Zero, but Iskander. Yeah.
I would actually have to say Lancelot.
Really?
Lancelot's death scene hit me in the gut. It really did.
You were talking right at the beginning of the panel how one of your friends like fell out of love with the Typhoon universe because he felt it got too commercialized. What would you suggest, like, to Nasu and all of the other writers to keep the Typhoon universe from completely falling into that?
I think what a lot of people want is just something new, something with a Titan label on it that's not Fate. That being said, I feel like the fact that they are taking all this massive revenue they're getting off of Grand Order, and they're making quality works of it. They're just making the same stuff over and over again, more and more Fate. So give us something that is not Fate, but feels Type Moon, and your classic fans will come back to it.
Like, can we get like a big production that's not focused on a Grail War, please?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why a lot of us have been begging for a Tsukihime anything over the past few years. So I think that would greatly help that problem.
I definitely recommend picking up El Malloy, because El Malloy is definitely going to be the biggest Type Moon thing that isn't completely focused on Fate. There is only 2 chapters out right now, though, but it's a promising read. So thank you, though.
Where do you guys think Melty Blood players deserve to play?
Let this guy
deserve to play? I believe they deserve to play in a Golden Palace line with every bit of marble in the world because they've already played everywhere else. They have yet to play in the truly fancy places. So, in my opinion, they need to go into the high dollar hotels and just sit in the lobby and demand that room service bring them TVs in order to play Melty Blood.
We may have time for 2 more and we gotta cut it off. So we may have time for about 2 more and we may have to cut it off.
If you are in line, I think we will take your name and you can still win prizes. But just stay in line.
Yeah, so just, Matt, if you could go ahead and get every name from everybody that's in line so they can have a fair shot at getting a prize.
Yeah. So, relating to Fate Grand Order, on the off chance that it releases Fate Infinity War, how many servers do you want to die? Name as many servers that you want to die as fast as you can.
As fast as I can?
Yes.
Oh, so servants. There's really... Honestly, I don't know if I want any of them to immediately die.
I think some of the funnest routes involve some of the quickest deaths, so if you get rid of the strongest characters like Gil and Saber right away, that'd be really great.
They can, I wouldn't be hurt if they got rid of Elizabeth Bathory.
So man.
It's okay. If Fate Grand Order had a Infinity War, we wouldn't turn it into a meme, so.
Indeed.
Hi.
My question is Himro's dad really the mayor?
Wait,
Get a little closer.
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
Guys, shh.
Is Himro's dad really the mayor? That's my question.
Wait, who's dad?
Himro?
From...
Girl's glasses. White hair.
From which series?
Space.
Oh, wait.
What?
Which one?
Hasty Night. Hasty Night.
Wait.
Yeah, Himro. White hair. Glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Karen! Yeah, from Alexia. Yeah. From you're talking about Hall Erickson. You're asking if he's really
Is her dad really the mayor?
not the mayor, but it really is Kotamine. Kotamine is really your dad.
Wait, no. Glasses.
Wait, glasses.
Girl. That's not Karen. Girl with glasses. There's Mackie Dara, there's Segisa, there's Pembroke. Well, Detective Pembroke.
I don't know.
The one who told off her friend for attacking Shiro with a broom.
Oh, those. I actually forgot about those characters. I can't give you a solid answer, but if you want, since I wasn't able to answer that, you wanna just choose a clear file? Just get out of the way.
Sure.
Yeah, come on, come over here.
Nice, great question.
You stumped us.
You got us. Choose one. You can choose a clear file. You can go on to the next question.
Hey, best boy. So
Hi.
Hey.
who are you looking forward to most for the next release in Fake Grand Order?
Are we talking English or JP?
Both.
In English, I'm really looking forward to a specific Berserker that's coming within the month. If you know who that is, that's really cool. Yeah, Mama. Please come home. I'm not gonna wail for you, but in terms of JP, I'm excited for the new Archer from Cosmo Velasco. That is my favorite. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, are we still getting tickets signed?
Yeah, he's working on it.
How many people are left? Just two people? One person?
Alright, so we'll do one more question before we call it.
We still have 30 minutes. It doesn't take long to get our prizes.
Alright, Brian, go ahead.
Okay. Do you prefer statues or the posable action figures such as the Nunoroids or the Max?
I am a scale fan. Before I spent money on Fake Grand Order, I spent money on scale figures. So I will say scale figures.
Alright, excellent.
I'm a slut for Figmas. I buy almost all of them.
I will say though, if you want more choices and you don't have as much budget, it'd be much better to go with Nandroids and Figmas because they're cheaper. But if you really want to go all out for quality and stuff like that, I would say scales are really good.
I have all of this year's pre-order.
Everyone quiet down, please.
Do you know anything about the 8 extra CCC fan translation?
Wait, for Lost Encore?
No, for
CCC. Oh, for CCC? I have no idea about that translation project. I'm pretty sure that translation project just went to focus on translating Fake Grand Order. I have no idea.
No, he's back.
Is he back?
He is back.
Okay.
It's gonna take like years though.
I mean, it's been years since CCC. Anyways, just wait and hope.
There's a big community of PSP owners that download translated ROMs on their PSP to play games.